Yehi Ratzon, Parashat Vayakel Pkudei, the Limud Shibila Refuat, Kol HaCholim, Uvetocham Tanya Batoda Magalit, Yosef Yair ben Aviv Chava, Harav Sivan ben Sima, Betoch Kol Shar Cholei Israel. We're entering into Shabbat after a full week of Shabbat. We had a full week of being home, and now it seems like Shabbat is going to be what we've had all week. And we enter into Parashat Vayakel Pkudei, that the description of the Mishkan, when we're building it, it starts with commanding about Shabbat. And so a lot of commentaries, they try to understand what is the need, what's the reason that when we're describing the Mishkan, we need to open up with Shabbat. And there are a lot of halachic things that we learn from it, and a lot of ideas we learn from it. But essentially, we're realizing that there's a very strong link between the Mishkan and Beit HaMikdash and Shabbat. So the question is, what is this link between Shabbat and the Mishkan and the Mikdash? There's the Malacha on Shabbat that some of us might know of, some of us might not know of. It's called the Malacha of Hatmana. The Malacha of Hatmana means that you're supposed to put food of Shabbat that you want to keep heated to preserve the heat, but you can't put it into something that adds heat. So we see that there's a distinction in this idea of Shabbat, is that we want the food to be hot, but we need to preserve it and not add to it. So the idea of Shabbat through Hatmana is that the goal of Shabbat is to preserve, is to continue, is that whenever we're adding something, we lose the relationship with what we have. There's a mitzvah called Osek b'mitzvah patur mina mitzvah. And there's an Or Zarua that explains that when someone's doing a mitzvah, are they demanded to do another? And says the Or Zarua, if you understand the goal of a mitzvah, it's to be connected. And if you're trying to do another mitzvah, it means that you don't understand the goal of the mitzvah. That by doing another mitzvah, you're contradicting the essence of the mitzvah. That the essence of a mitzvah is that you're connected. And by looking for another, you're not connected. Same too with Shabbat. Whenever you're trying to add heat to something, then you're changing its essence. And you're not connected. And the idea of Shabbat is to preserve, to hold, to be aware, to be understanding and connected to what's in front of you. How does this connect to the Mikdash? We know that a lot of notes have been coming out that Mashiach is coming and the world is getting perfect. And it's the first Shabbat that Bezrat Hashem, the world itself is really keeping Shabbat, not just the Jewish people, but the whole world is keeping Shabbat. But the idea of the Mikdash is that you have a place in the world that has everything, that it deals with physicality, that the Mikdash is dealing with animals, that the Mikdash is dealing with gold, with copper, with sins, with Kodesh Kodashim, with bread, with candles, is that the goal of the Mikdash is that it has everything, that you don't need to go anywhere else. And so really Shabbat is the definition of Beit HaMikdash. That you're able to be in a world that you realize that what's in front of you is everything you need. It's very difficult. When we were all growing up in a world where we had so many other things, so many shopping centers, so many stores, so many restaurants, so many planes, that we lived in a world of so much addition that we feel right now contracted and disabled and scared. But maybe the idea of the ending of Parsha, of Sefer Shemot, is that it's coming to reveal to us that the need to always search for more is exactly the opposite of Shabbat and Beit HaMikdash. That we need to look for more, not because there's more objects, but that what's in front of us has so much more to it. We've gotten to be with our families now for a week, but there's so much more that we could learn about our spouses, about our children, about ourselves. And so my bracha as we enter into the end of Sefer Shemot, in a world that's so different, is that we're able to really internalize how different Shabbat is.